It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week. Submit your nomination at KSLSports.com/contest and listen every Thursday afternoon to JJ and Alex for the winner. Help us celebrate the efforts of those volunteers making an impact with the Hercules Hero of the Week, sponsored by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals. Ben, your uncle, 801 Sports on the Snap Talk, snaps in real quick. Says BYU should have just played like 2019 LSU, and they would have beat Tech. Tech is just better than BYU everywhere. They weren't going to win that game and would have lost even worse if they just threw it around like a Mike Leach offense. Totally agree with Ben. You're more than welcome to agree with Ben, which is fine. But that's not what I said. I did not say they would have beaten Tech. I said they didn't give themselves a chance, in my opinion, which I think
it's a fair argument.
I still agree with me. And then he says they weren't going to win that game and would have lost even worse if they just threw it around like a Mike Leach offense. Well, okay. That's how they game planned.
Well,
they game plan like they agree with you. And then I'm not talking about Mike Leach offense. In fact, I'm not talking about that at all. Your LSU comparison was way better. Mike Leach's offense was full of cute little passes and screens and cute little stuff. That's not what I'm talking about, actually. I'm talking about throwing it downfield. I'm talking about more pro style, if anything. I'm talking about let your receivers go downfield and make a play. That's what I'm talking about. So,
and to your point, if you were going to lose anyways, if you knew you were going to lose this way, why play that way?
Why?
Yeah.
That's my entire point. Just wanted to clarify. 801 Sports, Ben's uncle. You have yourself a fine day. All right, top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com, brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Fellas, I hope you like these 3 things. Pop Tarts, Las Vegas, and Idaho Potatoes.
I like 2 of those things.
Which ones?
I've never been wild about Pop Tarts.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just not a breakfast person to begin with, let alone just a sugar blast right to the system.
I like them because my son will make them in the morning for himself, so I don't have to get up
I get that.
And feed him.
Hey.
He feeds himself.
Ollie, knock yourself out, bro.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Thank you. Cinnamon roll, Pop-Tarts. Record-wise, performance-wise this season, Georgia Tech is a cool opponent for BYU. Orlando is always a fan favorite for Cougars fans. You can go and hang out at Disney World and catch this game. I do, think Nebraska obviously has a bigger name historically when it comes to college football, and getting it in Vegas does simplify some options for Utah fans. So while I think a 7-5 Nebraska team, certainly nothing to write home about, I think some Utah fans can feel happy about that draw. And I'll be curious about BYU Georgia Tech, even though the entire conversation around this game is that it was supposed to be Notre Dame, and Notre Dame backed out.
All right. Where to start? I'll start with the Aggies. They should be stoked. Awesome. A future conference foe in a drivable location. Utah State hadn't been to a bowl in a while.
Cool game.
Go crazy.
Yeah, very cool game.
I hope that turns into Logan North. Utah should be thrilled. Vegas is a great destination. Ute fans can go do New Year's in Vegas. Which, Christian, have you done New Year's in Vegas?
I have. It's very cool.
It's way cool. It's super fun, and that venue is super cool. I think Nebraska is actually a sneaky, interesting opponent because I think their coach, Matt Rule, is pretty sharp, and he's interesting. I think Nebraska could be on the come.
Yep.
You never know.
Yeah.
And it's an opponent that you never really see. I think those are always the most interesting bowl opponents.
You get credit for beating Nebraska. People care if you beat Nebraska, even if Nebraska stinks.
I actually think that works out pretty dang well for the Utes. Maybe you would have rather had USC, and instead they get, USC and TCU in the Alamo Bowl, which is weird. I mean, but anywho, Utah, Nebraska, I think is pretty good. As far as BYU, I think they got the mother of all chefs. I think they got the shaft from the playoff committee. I think they got the shaft as far as bowl destination. It's a million years away. They're playing against an uninteresting opponent from a dang terrible conference. Now,
That's a 4-hour drive from where they play.
Notre Dame
Yeah.
would have been a compelling opponent.
Great opponent, yeah, of course.
It would have been a compelling opponent, but they're so soft and have their feelings hurt so very badly that they couldn't possibly be accepted or expected to suit up one more time. I mean, far be it from us to expect a college football team to play in a bowl game, Ben. I don't want to speak for you, but I mean, my Lanta, I wouldn't want you to get off the couch. And I heard an interview with their AD and the garbage that he was spewing about it. I mean, his feelings are hurt so badly. I think it's so sad for the Cougs. It sucks. I hope they take the team to Disneyland because that's all they're getting out of this.
It is a rotten return, and that's no offense to Georgia Tech, who has had a very good season.
It's much offense to Georgia Tech. They're not in BYU's league. I don't care what kind of run they went on, and now BYU's going to play against an inferior opponent. And if they happen to lose, it's going to be because they don't give a what.
Yeah, they probably. I mean, BYU prepares for games well. I mean,
yeah,
that is
you
the
would
one thing
expect
that they
so,
do.
but
it's
a
Georgia Tech
huge-
gave Georgia a pretty good run in their last game. It's a rivalry game, and they kept it to a one-score game. So we'll see. I don't think this is a pushover win for BYU, and certainly much closer to home for Georgia Tech. We'll see if their fans show up. We know BYU fans will. But yeah, compared to what it could have been, which it was never going to be the playoff unless you won the championship game, and that's not to let anybody off the hook other than we've been telling you for, since week 8 that they make it up as they go, and they reinforce that in the final week with all the changes that they made at the last minute and who gets judged for what and who doesn't get judged for what and why one team would jump another for no reason despite the fact that they weren't playing. And again, we can talk about that more in the next hour. But BYU wasn't going to be in. They ended up having an opportunity to have a cool draw. Notre Dame ruined that. And it's going to result in a good season, not a great season, despite the fact that it's one of the better that BYU's had, certainly in the last 25 years. And maybe the best.
As far as destinations go, that's a conference city. You can go to Orlando anytime.
Yeah, you can. Fans go to Orlando somewhat often.
The next time BYU plays UCF in Orlando, you
Agreed.
get the family together instead of flying to see a truly uninteresting game against Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it's far less than ideal. The best part of the bowl game, unfortunately, is the silly mascot. I mean, it's what it's gotten famous for. The same way the Mayo Bowl had that going for it. It's far from ideal. And that was always going to be the case. And I know the bowl committee is different than the college football playoff committee, but, they tried to set it up with Notre Dame. Notre Dame backed out. What are you going to do? Kansas State's not playing in a bowl game. Iowa State's not playing in a bowl game. This is a taste of the beginning. Not, this is what is to come. This is not, the ending of anything.
Utah has played Georgia Tech twice in bowl games in recent memory. Mm-hmm. And both those games were far more interesting. One had Eric Weddle v. Calvin Johnson. Mm-hmm. And the other was in the Sun Bowl when Utah had scrapped their way in their first year in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
This is just...
it feels like a consolation.
That's terrible.
Yep.
It's terrible. What's next?
Number 2, the Jazz had a very, and I can't emphasize this enough, a very weird game yesterday against Oklahoma City.
Why weird?
The whole stuff with the shot clock and the smoke.
Oh, okay.
And
that stuff was weird.
all this
right.
crazy stuff happening.
It was strange. It was weird to be in the arena. Jazz were down 10-1 as soon as the game started. First of all, there was the fact that the Thunder at least considered tanking against the Jazz by sitting every player on their roster.
Every player but two.
Every player but two, and those two are good enough to beat the Jazz.
They are
Jalen
very
Williams
important.
and Chet Holmgren, combined for 50 points. And the Jazz countered or also had Larry Markkinen sick, so the Jazz didn't really go into that game with much of a chance to win because they were missing their best player as well. And the Thunder made extraordinarily short work of the Jazz and were up 10-1, and then we're up 43-15, and the game was truly over basically before it started. And then, yes, really from the opening tip, it just didn't get a whole lot of attention. The fog machine behind the Thunder basket was going off intermittently throughout the first half, and then really just had a mind of its own in the second quarter. And it was hilarious because it also coincided with another Thunder run, including an alley-oop. If you missed it, go check it out at our Instagram page at KSL Sports. And once they got that fixed and you thought, okay, things are fine, they go into halftime, they come out, and a minute into the third quarter, the clock shut down, and they try for 10 minutes to get it back and working in a painful delay of a game that was basically over already, only to decide that, we can't fix it. We're going to have to just call out the times via Mark Demon, the PA announcer.
Okay, I can give this take because I know the not everybody. I know a lot of the arena staff over there and how great they are at their jobs and what they do. But have you ever had that mess up, Ben, where the boss is aware and becomes involved? Like
yes.
one of my first times producing, I left a mic up during the break, and the president of the dang company called down to the studio, and it's like,
that's bad.
Did you see our guy Jim Olson out there on the court during all that?
The clock manager's right next to Ryan Smith.
Yeah, because Jim's the president. And by the way, Jim's background, he's got a lot of different stuff in his background, but one is the arena. He was president of the arena for a long time. And and I've been there before where, oh man, Jim's coming over. Oh no, we got to get this thing working stat. But what a bizarre thing.
It was weird. And the game stunk. The Jazz just played extremely poorly. There's a clip circulating of Will Hardy unhappy with his team's defensive effort. I would tell fans I think that's probably less unique than they think. Yeah, you don't get that on film all the time, but if you watch it, they go to commercial break. But, if you're ever at a game, you can see Will laying into his team pretty regularly, or individuals as they walk off the court. Will has not been terrifically happy this season, especially with the defensive effort.
I don't think he cares about the loss, though. The fact that they lost to the Thunder last night, I don't think that's why his...
Agreed.
I don't know, how do we want to put it?
His wrath?
His blood was up?
Yeah. And then, you know what? I asked him after the game, I said, you only played Isaiah Collier and Bryce Sensabaugh 6 minutes each. What do you need to see? And he said effort and execution. And they didn't play well enough, and they're nice guys, and he likes coaching them, but the only way you can punish guys truly in the NBA is through minutes, and if they're not going to do the things I need them to do, they're not going to get minutes. He went with Walt Clayton, and Walt was great.
I told him to his face. I love how frank he is in his media stuff, and that was a great quote from yesterday. I think he's allergic to dogging it.
Will? Mm-hmm. I think
he's got a dogging it allergy where he just can't watch people dog it out there. He's just not going to do it. And they got blitzed out of the gate. And, standards weren't being met by several players, I would believe. And I think that frustrates. And then you put in somebody like Walt Clayton who's like, sure, I'll take the minutes. Why not?
And played great.
And that sends a message in and of its own.
I think it's also really hard that they've had to dog it the second half of the season, each of the last 3 years, and really all of last year, and then to feel like you've got to pull it back. And if guys start to show those signs again that they're not going out there and giving their best focus or effort, you've got to get on them. You've got to nip that in the bud, and he has tried to do that, and we'll see how much it's possible. Sometimes you have the wrong players.
I found it interesting that Keontae George was asked in the postgame about Isaiah and Bryce getting benched. And he said, I've been benched before, and he gave an interesting answer. But I kind of thought, well, I didn't see you gutting out 35 minutes out there. I mean, I don't know. I kind of thought it was more of a group effort than just singling out a couple of guys, and I found it interesting that he wasn't asked about his own performance.
Yeah.
But that of them. But I'm not downstairs and in the line of fire with the writers. But I'm not so sure that message was just about those two guys specifically.
Agreed.
And so, yeah, I mean, it got to be better. There's no doubt. I mean, Oklahoma City was scoring at a historic pace. They hit the most threes in the first quarter of any other first quarter played in the NBA this year.
11 first quarter threes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So you're just going to get out there and dog it and give them open threes all day. I mean, I don't know. Wouldn't you rather have Will coaching than pulling a BYU and giving up?
Yeah, you want Will coaching. I'm not going to co-sign with what you said about BYU's coaches, but that's fine.
I don't think Will wants to game plan scared of the Thunder. I think he'd really like to go take it to him. That's all. Next.
Number 3, this just in, Utah Mammoth star Logan Cooley is out indefinitely with a lower body injury.
So Logan didn't play in the last game, right? And the game before that, he had come back from this knee injury and what they'd called, a stinger or a Charlie horse. He'd gone knee to knee and was out for the rest of that game, and then played the game after that. And on a fast break, he kind of got tripped and fell into the net and hit the goalpost with his knee again, and kind of had to be helped off the ice. And you kind of didn't know if he was going to come back or what. And now apparently he's out indefinitely. We'll see what that means. I don't know.
Well, it's not good.
Is that a week? Is that a month? Is that surgery? We have no idea.
It's indefinite.
Yeah, it's indefinite. I can't definitely say anything.
Okay, here's a hot take for you. And maybe I can have this hot take because I'm not a gambler. Let's just get rid of it. All of it. No more injury reports. You have to look through your binoculars down onto the bench to see who's playing.
Who's going to play or not?
Not my problem. Let's go the Kyle Whittingham route. Let's just get rid of it altogether. If you're going to say lower leg injury and he might be back this decade, I mean, what's the point?
Hockey does that more than anybody. They love lower body or upper body with zero definition of what happens.
So,
yeah, I'm with you.
You either tell me, give me some sort of expectation when he's going to be back or don't, and I'll pay attention game to game because I'm tired in all sports of talking about, well, little Timmy spent his last $250 to see Kawhi Leonard play. I feel terrible for little Timmy, but it's a new world.
Yeah.
All right, stay tuned.
Mammoth shut out by the Flames in that game, by the way. They really missed him.
We will have more coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.